You walk into a room and within 3 seconds you already know who's in a bad mood, who's pretending to be fine, and who's annoyed at someone who hasn't even walked in yet. You don't try to do this, it just happens. And you tell yourself you're just observant or empathetic or good at reading people. But maybe you've noticed this too. You don't actually relax until you know how everyone is feeling. You can't. Something in you won't let you settle until you've scanned the whole room and figured out whether it's safe to be yourself. You were probably a kid who learned that other people's moods were your responsibility. Not in the way parents say you're so mature for your age. That compliment you maybe heard a lot. The real story is quieter. Say you came home from school and the air in the house had a certain thickness to it. Your parent was silent in a specific way or moving around the kitchen with that extra force when they closed a cabinet door. You didn't know what happened, but you knew something was wrong. And you also knew, because you'd tried it before, that if you walked in cheerfully and asked about your day, you'd get snapped at. So you stayed quiet and watched. You figured out the mood first. And that meant you learned to adjust yourself to whatever you found, quieter if they were angry, funnier if they were sad, invisible if you were tired. You started believing that how other people felt determined how you were allowed to feel. But here's the part that sticks. Sometimes when you got the mood right, the tension eased. You made them laugh or they thanked you for being so understanding. That tiny payoff, the relief of a parent softening, taught you that reading the room wasn't just survival, it was how you earned love. So you never stop doing it. There's a name for what you're doing, and it's not just being empathetic, it's called hypervigilance. That word sounds clinical, but really it's just describing a very old habit. Your brain learned that the environment holds threats, not tigers, but people's moods, and so it keeps your attention system turned on all the time, scanning for the slightest change. You're not deciding to do this. Your nervous system is running a background check on every face, every tone of voice, every pause in conversation. It's looking for danger signals, a tightened jaw, a glance away, a sigh that's a little too long. And once it finds the signal, it doesn't just log the information, it prepares you to act, to soothe, to fix, to disappear, to match the mood. This takes energy, a lot of it. Think of it like a phone with the flashlight on all day. You can still use it, but the battery drains way faster than it should. That's why you feel exhausted after a simple dinner with friends. You feel that way because you like them, but you never turned off the scanner. Here's what's hard to see when you're in it. You think reading the room is what makes you safe, but really it's what keeps you from ever feeling safe. Because safety isn't knowing that everyone is fine. Safety is being able to exist without having to know. Imagine a version of you who walks into the same room and without even trying, just lets other people have their moods. Lets someone be angry without you needing to fix it. Lets someone be sad without you having to cheer them up. That might feel selfish to you, it might feel dangerous. But ask yourself, when has scanning the room ever actually prevented a bad thing from happening? You didn't control anyone's emotions, you just managed your own response to them. You were never in charge of other people's feelings. You were just in charge of making sure you didn't get in trouble for having your own. The thing the hypervigilance was protecting? It was protecting a younger version of you from getting hurt or rejected. And that younger version needed that strategy, but you're not in that house anymore. The person who needed to be quiet and watchful to survive doesn't live here now. The scanner doesn't need to run forever. So try this. Pick one low-stakes situation this week, a coffee shop, a waiting room, a casual chat with a coworker, and consciously decide not to scan. Let yourself not know what the barista is feeling. Let yourself not notice if the person next to you is annoyed. Just be in the space without trying to predict or manage anything. When you feel that pull to check someone's face, gently redirect your attention to something else. The texture of your sleeve, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the way your breath moves. The goal is not to ignore danger, it's to give your brain a chance to learn, one tiny experiment at a time, that the room might be okay even when you're not monitoring it. The other thing to try, next time you catch yourself matching someone's bad mood, stop and ask yourself, what do I feel right now? Not what you should feel, not what fits the room. Just a simple check-in with your own body. Do you feel cold, tired, hungry, bored? The answer doesn't have to be dramatic, it just has to be yours. Because you've spent so long tuning into everyone else's frequency that you might have forgotten you have one of your own. You walk into a room and within 3 seconds, you already know who's in a bad mood, who's pretending to be fine, and who's annoyed at someone who hasn't even walked in yet. And this time, maybe, just maybe, you let yourself not know. You let yourself be the last to figure it out. And you notice the room didn't collapse, you didn't get hurt. You just existed without the scan for a moment. And that moment is the beginning of something you never tried before. Trusting that you can be okay without being in control of everyone else. There's more of this every week here on Apophenia. If this pattern showed you something about yourself, drop a comment and let me know. Does this one hit close to home, or does it remind you of someone you know? Either way, a like helps this reach someone who might need to hear it. And if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe.